Hi, I'm Jale. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a general collective reading for the sign of Libra for October 2019. So that's Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus signs in the sign of Libra. So what we're going to do, we're going to tap into the general collective energy using my guides first of all. And then we'll be pulling some Witches Tarot cards just to clarify some information, maybe get a bit more depth. And that deck is by Ellen Dugan. And probably be pulling a few oracle cards for the outcome at the end of the reading as well. Okay, so I'm just going to link into spirit here. And we'll just see what's coming up for Libras collectively for October 2019. They're talking about a bounty here. I feel like if you guys have been struggling or have been trying to find your direction, it's like there's a bounty at the end of this. It's like I feel like this month you'll be overcoming and answering a lot of those unanswered questions. It's like they're talking about phasing out a cycle here as well. So at the end of it though, I see something profitable. They're giving me the words tangible, profitable and bountiful. So it looks like whatever you're looking at phasing out, they're saying you're not seeing the bigger picture at the moment. Okay, so if you've been doubting things, if you haven't wanted to take a risk, they're saying you must look past what is actually in front of you and look for the future, because there's something in front of certain Libras here that I feel they're missing. They're also showing me you looking at a certain direction of where you're going, and actually there's something here maybe to either side of you that you're missing out or you're not seeing for what it is. And they're saying that there could be a directional shift during this month in order to correct the navigation. And if that isn't happening, then that's something that maybe you should be looking at focusing on, or trying to recalibrate yourself so you're able to see the wood through the trees, see what is in front of you very clearly. It's like they're showing me the energy of, I feel restricted. It's like I can't gather the information I need, and it's like I'm in a walled area. It's like my energy is, it feels a little bit unsure, but it's like you're only seeing what is directly in front of you, and is just sort of a very small area, but outside the boundaries of what has been built is a lot of other things that maybe haven't been recognized, haven't been realized. But there's going to come a time in this month of October that you're going to maybe peek over that wall or burst through that boundary in order to check to see if it's tangible. And they're saying it is. They're also referring something to a past life lesson here, where something about breaking out of the confines of your own space, something that you've built in to sort of as a protective measure that is going to be challenged to be removed and rebuilt for the proper focus, for the after you've realized the proper reality of the situation. So it could have been that maybe they're saying something from the past could be needing to be looked at. It's like you've questioned certain things or certain lessons, situations. And it's like this opportunity is, it's like they're kind of pulling you back a little bit in order for you to really truly realize what it is you want. Because what they're saying is that there's an outdated wish that is in play here, something that you'd previously asked for that potentially didn't work. You're not seeing that for its entirety, and you have to recalibrate yourself in order to rediscover what it is you want, but doing it in the correct alignment, not other people's projections of what they want being placed onto you, and not you being confused and you just kind of going along with something, you actually deciding what it is you want. And that's when the bounty will be available to you. There are huge lessons to be learned here with this. It's about your perspective. You need to change your perspective. There's something about your perspective here that is blocking you from seeing ahead, based on your own inner reflections of yourself that either have been projected onto you or that you feel like you have, and that you're limiting yourself by projections that have been placed on you either by yourself or others, which is therefore giving you a hard time to discover what it is that you actually want. And they're asking you to correct this. They're asking you to really decide what it is you want now. Now, if you are still struggling with a situation from the past, and because of a loss or like a deemed loss, it could be that just wasn't for you, and therefore that's why spirit have tried to move you along, because there is something out there that's better for you. But it's like I'm getting an energy here of people that are very mournful around this, and they're not wanting to move on. They're not wanting to see something. You guys are not wanting to see something. It's like you know there's something here. You know there's something more here. But it's like, in order to realise that, you'd have to accept certain realities, and you're not prepared to do that at the moment. But actually what you don't know is that if you were to accept those things, you would be able to move forward freely, and actually this would be part of your lesson being learned, and you'd be onto a new cycle. They're saying practice what you preach as well. You must practice what you preach. There's a certain objective point of view or a certain theory that you've been trying to align yourself with, but you're not grasping it because you're not living it. You're giving it as you're wanting to step into that, but there's a fear of the unknown here. There's a fear of a deemed reality because you feel like it's out of your comfort zone and you're not prepared to step out of that. You must make sure that you find out what it is you want to manifest, because you are going to manifest things. And if you're not clear on what it is you want to sort of change and move this directionally into, then you're going to end up bringing to you what it is more of what you don't want. And actually that's been the lesson, where you've gone along with certain ideals that people have been projecting towards you, and you've been manifesting those because spirit are trying to give you what it is you don't want, so you realize what it is you do want. There's a bit of a fearful energy here, I'll be honest with you. It's like this is going to be really important for some of you, because actually what you're going to learn from this is putting you into a whole brand new cycle. And this isn't just this is a brand new life cycle. This is not just one of those things that phases out over a few years. This is an overall life cycle. So there's a big karmic lesson to be learned from this, but you must step into your own identity, and you must trust your own identity. But that means an alignment with your head and your heart, which will give you truths around what it is you do really want. And there's something around a victim energy here as well. So if you've been looking back going, oh, why didn't it work out? Why didn't it work out? You're going to see why, because it's not in your best interests. It wasn't in your best interest. And again, I'm just getting this mournful energy. It's like every time I'm kind of giving more insight into it, I'm getting more of this mournful energy. It's like we're mourning here. We're in a bit of a sense of mourning. So let's just turn to the tarot here, see what the tarot cards want to give us, what spirit wants to give us here in terms of more depth with this. So the general collective of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus, please, for the month of October. What is it we can expect to be seeing here? What sort of things will be coming up, please? October, Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus, general collective energies, please, for the month of October 2019. General collective energies for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus, please, for the month of October 2019. What is it Libras can expect to see, can expect to be doing, what's going to be happening? Oh, there's a bit of these cards don't want to shuffle. Yeah, there's a bit of resistance, I'll be honest with you. So Libra, what is the general collective of Libra going to be going through in October here? General collective of Libra. And as with any general readings, please just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Obviously, it is a collective reading, so some things may resonate, some might not. I don't know why I'm speaking like that, but for some reason I'm not pronouncing words properly today. I don't quite understand what that's about. But yeah, it's there's a real sense of confusion coming up in these cards here. We've got the Seven of Cups, okay? So there's a lot of choices that are going to be coming up over this next month, and it's up to you to decide, for you to deem what is necessary. What is it that you really want to put your investment and heart into? What is it that you really want to invest in for the long term here? Because it's like, again, we've got Five of Cups as well. It's like there's a mourning of the past, of what has been, but we're not seeing those Two of Cups. And again, Nine of Cups in reverse. There's a wish that wasn't fulfilled, or there was a wish that you thought would come true and it did, and then it wasn't what you deemed it to be. And we're chasing our happiness here. We're chasing our happiness. We're chasing our contentment. You actually do have all the tools that you need, but this is a bit of a test for an alignment. It's like an alignment check. Like, are you manifesting these things for you, or are you manifesting them for what you think you should be manifesting them for external influences, or what you deem you should be doing? What is it you actually really want? Because there's a really confused energy here, because it's like there's no focus on actually one very, very clear course of action, and there's a lot of uncertainty here. There's also a lot of confusion. You may also be needing to sort of review your boundaries, make sure that, you know, you're not putting them too high up for the wrong people. And maybe you're sort of, it's like you seem to be investing in the wrong things, or have been. It's just this overall total confusion. I don't think you know what direction you want to go in. There's a lot of what is tangible and what isn't here that you're going to, you know, what can you actually do with this? Is this a viable idea, and is it your idea? Do you want this, or is this something that you think you would want, or what people would deem that you would want? If you can get this into alignment, there is a potential for a new contract, maybe a work focus, a new opportunity via work, could also be via love. But there's a partnership here that's going to be reviewed and looked at, because that is also a source of confusion. It's like, where am I going with love, and what am I doing with my career? And it's like, the more I feel like there might also be a bit of overthinking here with this as well, because it's like we need to get into balance with our head and our hearts here, okay? We need to figure out, rather than just living in our heads, what is it our heart is telling us we want? And even if it doesn't fit in with what people expect us to be saying or doing, it's like that we're breaking out of a bit of a box here where people have kind of projected things onto us. And I feel like your sort of key lesson in October is standing your ground and figuring it out. What actually do you want? And is this something that you need, or is it someone's told you that you need? Because it's not going to work otherwise. We're going to manifest things that we don't really... They want me to look at this again. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, look. So can you see at the forefront of the card, there's a potion here, okay? And it's bubbling, but the guy's not paying any attention to it. He's paying attention to something else. He's very distracted. There's a risk you might miss something here, okay? You're going to be offered something this month, and I feel like you may either miss it or be distracted, or maybe you'll catch it, but you don't fully understand it, and so you put it to one side because you're not sure what it is you want. But there's also a potential here for you to be grabbing onto something else that you don't want to let go, and at the risk of all other things. This is the Four of Pentacles here. It's a very protective energy, but it's like there's a bit of a fear here. Again, bit of ego, potentially a bit of ego going on here with the Strength card. It's like we need to release that. We need to release that. We need to be more kinder to ourselves. We need to have more trust and faith in ourselves. This is a Page of Cups. Get into our heart center a bit more. We need to release a bit of that ego, because it needs to be released. I'll be honest with you. It needs to be released. And this is the thing. There's a creative opportunity as well here, a creative start here that I feel like we're a bit too much in our heads with the Queen of Swords. And it's like we don't want to miss this opportunity, but it's like there's a bit of a self-sabotage going on here, I'm not going to lie. We need to balance that out, okay? We've got the Justice card with Libra. We have to balance this out, because what they're saying is like, if we don't, it's like this opportunity will go by, okay, and then something else will come in, and then that will go by, and then something else will come in, and it's like we're at a risk here of going for a bit of a cycle that doesn't end, and we need to kind of pull the plug on this, because I don't know if the focus that you guys have, the focus that you guys have is a little bit diluted at the moment. If you can correct that, correct your course of action. This is the Chariot card here. Get that real focus. everything will turn. There will be a change here, but you must refocus. You must refocus, but not. And there's so many influences around you here. It's like you've been diluted down into not knowing what it is who you are or what you want, and we can't manifest with that. You want to be manifesting things as well, but it's like the universe is going to bring things that aren't necessarily for you until you decide exactly what it is you do want in a balanced mindset, in a balanced energy. And again, the right contracts will not be able to come through here otherwise. The right contracts will not be able to come through here until you've learned this sense of self, which is not determined by anyone else other than you. Okay, you're coming into union with yourself. This is the Lovers card here. Okay, they're also saying that you'll also be coming into union with someone else once you've come into union with yourself. That you don't need to defend and protect yourself on. That you don't need to. It's like I'm hearing you defending your voice and defending your ideals and defending your beliefs, and because you're around, the people around you are projecting their own things onto you. There is an imbalance here, okay? All right, there is an imbalance with that, but you're also not seeing the wood through the trees with that. There's a lack of clarity, a lack of truth, a lack of seeing through what you should really be doing. And there's also an imbalance here around the feminine. So if it's not a partnership, it could be with yourself and your feminine energy, but we need to be correcting a bit of our emotions here, rebalancing those, bringing ourselves into alignment, bringing ourselves back into our balance with our feminine energy in order to attract not just a recalibration within ourselves, but also our external environment, you know, as above, so below. So also, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Libra. Yeah, because once you've done that, this is going to come to the cycle will end. Once you've really recalibrated that, the cycle is going to end. Okay, you're not going to have to worry about that. And you can, it's like there'll be a celebration. That the ego has to go. There has to be some balance to this ego. If something doesn't work out, it doesn't mean to say that you're the most ridiculous human being on the earth. It just means that you're being guided towards something better. There is a growth here that is going to be extremely expandable, but it's like you're chasing your tail a little bit at the moment, and it's like you're listening to all the wrong things. Like, why are you so able to listen to what people are telling you should be doing? And who is this influence, please? Who is this influence? I feel like there's a really strong influence that is just not the best one. What is this influence, please? Yeah, it could be a fire sign. Could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Could be a female around you. It could be a boss. Okay, it could be a boss. Someone that is a fairly powerful character, strong in their own ability, strong in their own mind. This also could be a partnership. It doesn't have to be female, it could be male, that is looking for a positive outcome with, okay, but there needs to be healing as well with this. There needs to be healing. It's like you're ready to step into this, but you're also fighting yourself as well because you don't want to recognize that this is your future. Ten of Pentacles, but it is. Okay, this again could be male or female, but this is once you've recalibrated yourself. But there is something outdated that is grown. You need to drop those wands, those this is a 10 of Wands card. So there is a cycle coming to completion, but you have to move away from the old here in order to embrace the new. And again, with the Three of Pentacles, so partnerships, we have to look at our partnerships here. Who are we in partnership with that is now slightly outdated? And who is it we want to be moving towards? Because this is key, this card's come out 3 times now. So there is no coincidence with that. You must decide what it is that you want to align with, okay? Because again, it feels like whatever partnerships are around you at the moment are just distracting you, and I don't know. I want to see what is this. What's this partnership? What's going on with this partnership here? Why is there? What's happening with this? What's the? Yeah, it's like there's potentially a relationship that is a little bit outdated here that maybe needs to come to a close that hasn't been closed out. Yeah, there's a mournful element to this. It's like you kind of know that this has to be phased out, but you're not doing it. Two of Cups, you're focusing on those Two of Cups, almost looking at them as if to say, well, kind of not have all of them. The other cups have spilt and the emotion has been lost, but it's like you're so focused on those Two of Cups that you're kind of forsaking all other things at the moment, being totally honest with you. But the Magician card has come up here. So once you do figure out what it is you do want, with sort of, you need to kind of head towards that. But it's like, it's almost like your ego is telling you that, oh, well, I didn't envision this. I didn't see this coming. I didn't expect this to be the case. And it's like you're forsaking that because of what you deem you should have been doing, or you deemed the partnership should have been, or it's like there's such a program perspective of how you're viewing partnerships that you're not looking at the bigger picture, and it's like you are refusing to see the actual reality of these things. Okay, this is out. It feels like there's it's like a cutting. Could be an air sign, so Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, but it could be male or female. But this is typically someone that see, it doesn't usually with the King of Swords. This is a fair, balanced kind of deciding, what to do. But with you, usually when this is the Queen, it's like, is there someone around you that's a little bit unfair with you, or it's like there's an onus on someone that's just an expectation. It could be a mother figure, it could be a mother-in-law, it could be someone that just keeps projecting their ideals and them onto you, and it's like your identity is being diluted a little bit, if I'm being totally honest with you, and your ego is restricting you from moving out of this because you feel like that's something that you should be dealing with, or you should be. It's like you're not seeing that this is actually not you. It's like it's an outdated kind of situation that you're not looking at. You're refusing to see the reality of. But when you do, and again coming into alignment with yourself, not only are you going to actually balance, but you're going to bring the right people around you. Now I feel like this could be also love. Two of Cups is usually partnership, but it's usually I feel like this could be to do with a love connection as well. Someone's unsure about another option in love. They're not sure about another option in love. They don't know if that person is them. They don't know if that is. There's a lot of confusion here. It's like the outdated situation they're in is confusing them to the point where they don't know how to move forward. And even if they wanted to move forward, they don't know if they can, because they feel like they put so much effort and energy into this. They don't want to admit that this isn't working, or that the other person's doing X, Y, and Z, because it means that they'd have to acknowledge this ego. We need to have a bit of an ego death here, to be quite honest with you. Because it's like we're just holding on too tight, and the abundance is not able to get through. The reunion of people that are in alignment with you are not able to get through. But this could also be a third party scenario here, where you are potentially, or the other party is potentially choosing, if you're a cross watcher, between two individuals. There is it's like this month you're going to spend reviewing this and meditating on it, okay? But it's like between now and the end of October, it's like you are going to be looking at your future, and this is the Three of Wands, by the way, to see whether or not, or what it is you want to bring into the future, what it is you want to manifest, where your future's going. And this is in all areas. This is in absolutely all areas. And Spirit keeps saying, whatever you've been told to be doing, or whatever you feel like you should be living like, you need to remove that and connect with yourself on a head and a heart level, and sit with that in your heart center and really ask, What is it that I have previously wanted to manifest, and is it in alignment with me anymore? Okay, because it's like there's a lot of outdated energy here that someone doesn't want to see past. They don't want to look. They don't want to look. Maybe it's because there's too many choices. Maybe it's because they're in their heads and they're daydreaming a lot about it and there's not a lot of action. But it's like there's a mix of meditation, sort of meditating on that ideal, and being confused. And again, we need to really calibrate our feminine energy here. This could also be a disconnectment in a partnership, but it's like, clarify Empress reverse, please, Spirit. There's an outdated partnership. There's an outdated partnership, not just with yourself, but with those around you. It's like you're with someone that you don't want to be with, you've outgrown it, but your efforts and your focus is elsewhere, but you don't want to acknowledge that either. It's like you're in limbo. But your ego this is actually an ego block. I feel like this is actually your ego blocking you from seeing this. I don't actually feel like you are that confused. I think you know what it is exactly you want to be doing, but it's like your ego doesn't allow it. This is the Ten of Pentacles. So you do have an abundance coming in. You do have a lot coming to you, not just financially, but there's just a lot of different things. But we need to rebalance this. We need to just totally, it's like you've been told that you should be doing something. So maybe you're responsible for someone. Maybe you feel like a duty towards someone. Maybe that person's told you that if you left them, that, you know, they wouldn't be able to do X, Y, and Z, right? This is causing a massive block, because I feel like it's outdated, and it's like you're holding yourself back now because you feel like that's the right thing to do. But there's an illusion with this, and potentially there are also secrets as well. There's a lot of fear. This is the Nine of Swords, okay? So someone's being sort of kept up at night worrying about this. Very defensive energy as well. So this is the Seven of Wands. Again, that's the second time that's come up. And it's like all of this is underneath the Queen of Swords. So this could be an air sign, or someone who does act fairly detached, maybe isn't showing their emotions. Okay, but there is heartbreak behind this. It's like to acknowledge all of these things would mean you it's almost like you're equating removing yourself from the situation to defeat, right? And it's not. That's an illusion. That's fear. That's ego. You're out of balance, and you're expecting to. You're trying to make a decision with yourself being out of balance, and you're going in loops. I'll be honest with you. There's a cycle that just keeps continuing. I feel like you've been going in loops for a while with this, and you're not listening to your own voice. Okay, so once that ego is released, and that you are resigning yourself to your own heart, whether or not it's you being totally vulnerable with yourself so that you are able to open yourself up or not, but your happiness is on the way, and it is at the end of this journey. It just means you have to learn your lesson. They're not going to make this so easy where you can have everything that you think you want, because sometimes those things that you think you want are actually not what you should be having, and that's because the larger picture, the bigger picture is that there's something better coming to you, but you're so restrictive of it and you're grabbing hold of it because you fear losing it, that you're not actually welcoming in the better things because you don't want to let it go. And that I would be focusing on this month personally. Make sure you let go of everything you think you know. You need to let it go, and you need to just surrender, because this is going to be yours. Not just union with yourself, but also an emotional connection, like a union that is needed and is going to be very good for you. That is a very content, loving, mutually rewarding connection stroke union that won't be able to come in until this has been learned. Okay, and it's like, don't restrict this energy at the expense of everything. It's like you're holding on so tight to whatever this is that you're blocking out certain things, but also you potentially could even be losing maybe a bit of money. It's like your abundance, your heart center's a bit closed off, so you're not able to manifest things as you maybe normally would. And it's like, because you are in your birthday season, it's like they're trying to remove this because they want you to have the very best, not just settle for something because you think that should be the way. Stop holding on too tight. Don't hold on too tight. Release the past. It's like someone's stuck in a certain energy here that is not conducive to their growth at all. Yeah, and take that leap of faith. You must take that leap of faith because it's going to actually really help you. It's going to bring you into a brand new cycle, okay? So if they took that leap of faith, what is the outcome? First of all, the healing will actually come and you will feel so much better. But this is like divine intervention almost. So it's like the divine will give you what you actually really do want. But you need to just figure out what it is you do want, you know. Okay, so this is the other thing they're saying. If you are in a codependent scenario where you don't like being single and you feel like your partner, you know, it's like there's a codependent scenario going on here, then that has to be released because it's not helpful, it's not healthy. You are restricting your own energy and not able to bring anything else in. If this is you, this could also be addiction. So it could be drinking, gambling, sex, drugs. You have to detach from that and come in alignment with you and stop seeking things externally to yourself that you actually do have within you, okay? Because it's like you're putting, do you remember the walls I spoke about earlier? It's like you're building up this wall around you and you're blocking out the sun, and in amongst this wall is, and this is the shadow side, so you know, this is the devil in traditional character. It's like you're restricting out the sun and restricting out all these opportunities, and what you're actually putting inside the barrier with you is all of these kind of outdated patterns of behavior that need to be removed and kind of done by and learnt from. Because, and let's say you are in a partnership that you feel like, oh my goodness, if someone asked you, like, why do you love that person, and your answer was, well, you know, I'm just used to them, then that's attachment. You know, we have to define the difference between attachment and partnership. You know, attachment is, you know, our identity may be a little bit called into question. We don't really have our own separate identities. You know, we do things a lot. We don't really have alone times. We're not really independent within the relationship. That's what I'd be looking at, because it's that energy that I feel is restricting you from deciding what it is you want. It's like there's a little bird in your ear here that's giving you all these kind of lovely ideas, but is it actually in alignment with you? And this is the Hierophant, so the Hierophant's in reverse. So this is the traditional. We've got a, it's like if your idea is, oh well, you know, I'm the traditional one, like this is a traditional relationship, but there's codependence there, like, you know, I'm the stereotypical matriarch or patriarch within this relationship. I feel like, again, we need to heal and look at why these patterns are coming into play, what our kind of upbringing has given to this scenario, and we need to break away from that. Okay, we need to break away from that traditional ideal of, you know, the sort of the patriarch and the matriarch of the family, where the man is the breadwinner and the woman is this. Because at the moment it's like you're in an outdated scenario, and the reason you're hanging on to it is codependency potentially, but also because society programming, people that have told you that once you're in this relationship, that's it, you shouldn't be questioning anything outside of that, and that's you for life. Like, so if it's a marriage, then, you know, maybe you're really questioning this, but they're saying you must review. Okay, so by clearly looking at what your future will be bringing and what it is you want, the ultimate happiness can be brought in, and it will be brought in with the Sun card. Okay, so this is one of the most positive cards in the deck, but you have to, it's almost like your head is telling you that, oh well, you know, what happens if I left this person, then what would happen? But your heart is screaming that you need to do it, and then there's that imbalance, and you're not in alignment because one is not in balance with the other. That's what you should be recalibrating. You need to be moving away from this and figuring out what it is you want. Okay, that's what I'd be looking at during this month. Okay, so again, if you do that, then the Sun card is yours. Like, you are going to have that abundance. So I want to pull, this is the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle card deck by Colette Baron Reid. So what's the outcome, please, for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus signs for the month of October 2019. What's the outcome, please? For Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, what's going to be the outcome to October 2019, please? Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus signs, please. Yeah. Okay, so the first card is the Owl card, which is about deception and or wisdom. So is there someone around you that maybe you've been turning a blind eye to, that maybe you feel there was a deception and you haven't acted on it? If that's not you, then potentially you're going to be gaining clarity to see the wider picture here. The owl is an animal that can see. It is, you cannot fool the owl. The owl has got that nocturnal sight. It can see through the dark. It can see through the rubbish and the lies, but it has that wisdom and discernment to understand what is best for the owl. So this is something you're going to be coming into alignment with at the end of October, okay? The other card was independence and healthy boundaries. So if someone is crossing your boundaries, you need to be looking at that. You need to be drawing a line in the sand and really reaffirming your boundaries, but also gaining a bit more independence here, okay? So what is it that you feel like you maybe were putting on hold because of partnership or people around you? And then last but not least is we've got Merlin. So Merlin is alchemy. We've got justice and also balance in this card. So it's saying that once that has been brought into alignment, you will be manifesting what it is that you desire, but you have to really get clear on what it is. And sometimes spirit don't bring into alignment, don't actually allow us to manifest these things because actually it's not in our highest and best interest. So if you're sat there going, well, I've been trying to manifest something for months and it hasn't happened, maybe that's not in your highest and best interest, and maybe you need to rethink the whole thing. Someone has been a bit of in a battle here, because you can see the dragon is resting. So maybe you've been holding on to a partnership that has been fight after fight after fight after fight after fight, and you really know that this is over, but you don't want to release it. Maybe this is telling you that you might need to look into that again. Let's see, we're going to pull the Wisdom of Oracle card deck. That's Colette Baron Reads as well. So what other messages, please, for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus for the month of October, please? What other messages, insight can you give us? Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus signs for the month for Libra for the month of October 2019. Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus in Libra for the month of October 2019, please. Any other insight, guidance, messages? Thank you. Libra. I can see that there could also be two choices, so it could also be a love. Once you decide what it is you want, there is happiness here. Okay. There is happiness. They're saying happy, happy. That's the card that says happy, happy. If you can actually see it, if it will focus for you. And as you can see, she's standing on a lock. Okay, she's actually standing on a lock, which is an egg. So this is something that is very abundant for the future as well. It's not just for the near future. It's like you are pretty much standing on something that is going to bring you happiness, but maybe you haven't realized it. Maybe you haven't been looking that direction. Maybe you've been distracted. So just make sure that you're not being distracted in this situation, because maybe your happiness is being handed to you and you're just not seeing it, you know, and it's like you're looking for it in the wrong places. But there needs to be a recalibration and a balance. So any further messages, please, for Libra? Any other messages, please? Spirit for October 2019. Anything else? They're saying one more to come. Okay, so this is the Blessed card. So you have definitely, I would also be thanking Spirit as well, counting your blessings, because it's like, again, it's like there's an energy here of that something has been brought to you, towards you, you haven't really noticed it, and then you're focusing on something else that isn't there, and what they brought you actually could have helped. Or if this has not already been brought to you, then I feel like it will. So you need to really make sure that you're recalibrated in a balanced way so you can make a decision. But there's a huge blessing around the corner for you. Okay, so guys, hopefully that's helped. you know, do let me know. Thank you for subscribing if you have done so. That's massively appreciated. I'm going to be posting a video for Scorpios tomorrow, so Sun, Moon, Rising and or Venus Scorpio. That will be for the 8th. I'll be posting that. So yeah, hopefully this has been of some help. Thank you so much for listening and watching. It's much appreciated, and take care. Bye.